the Milwaukee Concert Band's presentation of Tour Europa. Today you have the opportunity to take a tour of Europe through its music. Cobblestone streets, centuries of history and architecture, and some of the world's tastiest culinary traditions. Europe has so much to offer. The continent's rich cultural history, openness, and impressive diversity make it an attractive place to travel, explore, and make friends. Today we will take you through the captivating landscape of Saxony, Germany, the rolling hills of Belgium, to meet the proud people of the Czech Republic, to explore the agricultural districts of England, and much more. We hope that by the end of our concert you will be able to visualize some of these fascinating places. And now I'm pleased to introduce our conductor, Brian Kujawa. Jan van der Roost is a Belgian composer who has composed over 90 works, mostly for winds. This flashing piece was published in 1989 and was commissioned for and dedicated to the Arlecchino Youth Band from Belgium. The effective instrumentation and the driving rhythm of this selection provide a colorful and exciting result. In character with its title, Flashing Winds speeds towards its finale without any tempo changes. The chord blocks, which characterize the introduction, unite this virtuoso piece by reappearing at the end. Flashing Winds is a wonderful example of some of the colorful pieces that have emerged from a new generation of European composers who see the wind band as a serious and distinctive medium of musical expression. Now hang on to your seats as you listen to Flashing Winds by Jan van der Roost. Since 1971, it has been used as an opener in one of the most popular shows of Polsky Radio Program 1. This piece, performed as a polka, has a simple and catchy melody, featuring a prominent extended 8-note arpeggio. According to Polsky Radio Program 1, the music was created in Austria by a composer named A. Pupfat. Other sources claim that the clarinet polka was written by a Polish composer. Andy Clark is an American composer and arranger from Oklahoma. The woodwind polka is an arrangement of the famous clarinet polka, with all the woodwinds getting in on the action. Clarinets, flute, saxes, and the oboe are treated to the sparkling polka melody. We know that many of you know how to polka, so you may be tempted to get up and dance as we listen to the woodwind polka arranged by Andy Clark. is a Dutch composer, born in 1959. He's composed over 35 works for wind groups of all levels. He regularly acts as a guest conductor with performances of his own works, not only in Europe, but also Australia and the United States. He has served as guest conductor at the Western International Band Clinic in Seattle, and he gives workshops at various conservatories, such as the Bavarian Music Academy in Germany. DeHaan's composition, Ammerland, was published in 2001. This composition depicts the lush, enchanting region in Lower Saxony, Germany. I invite you to imagine the rural land of Ammerland. Imagine seemingly endless country roads, an exquisite lakeside, and fields covered with sprawling meadows filled with yellow wildflower blossoms. The sonorous sounds of Ammerland create the feeling of being carried away to this unique landscape. We hope you'll be able to visualize this stunning setting as you listen to Ammerland by Jacob DeHaan. arranger and pianist who moved to the United States in 1914 and became an American citizen in 1918. It is said that Granger's charm, good looks, and talent ensured that he was quickly taken up as a pianist by wealthy patrons, and this is how he began his career in music. In the course of a long and innovative career, he played a prominent role in the revival of interest in British folk music in the early years of the 20th century. He also formed a friendship with Edvard Grieg and became a champion of Nordic music and culture. Much of his work was considered to be experimental and unusual. An interesting fact, Percy Granger has a Milwaukee connection. On March 7th, 1937, he conducted the premiere of Lincolnshire Posy for the American Bandmasters Association here in Milwaukee. The musicians included members of the Blatz Brewery and Pabst Blue Ribbon Factory Worker bands. Granger's work included 6 movements, but Granger decided to perform only 3 of them because he believed that the performers cared more about their beer than their music. Shepherd's Hay is one of the many wonderful renditions of English folk songs transcribed by Granger. Originally penned for an ensemble of only 12 instruments in 1911, the band version was transcribed by the composer in 1948. In some agricultural districts in England, teams of what are called Morris men, decked out with jingling bells and clicking sticks, can still be seen dancing to such traditional tunes as Shepherd's Hay, which are usually played on a fiddle or a combination of fife and drum. The hay involves the interweaving of 2 lines of dancers, which may be symbolized by Granger's use of 2 parallel lines of music at the opening of the composition, rather than a simple statement of a theme that then moves into variants. So listen for that. For the second time today, you may feel the urge to dance as you listen to Shepherd's Hay by Percy Granger, conducted by our assistant conductor, Pete Thompson. We have now finished the first half of our concert. As you may know, we are entirely a volunteer organization, and we function solely on donations from family, friends, and audiences. Your generous contributions will help us to continue performing these wonderful concerts. Every little bit helps. At the entrance, you will find some places to leave a free will donation, our funky but totally functional French horn donation receptacle, and there's also a basket for cash or checks. Any size contribution is greatly appreciated. We'd also like to draw your attention to the advertisers in our program. We're ever so grateful for their support. And we again have refreshments offered in the back of the hall. This time we have Kringle, supplied by the Lions Club. And this time we have 2 tables, so hopefully the lines won't be so long. And there are similar things at both tables, so don't worry about which one you pick. So stretch your legs. We'll see you in about 12 minutes. Welcome back for the second half of Tour Europa. Are you ready to embark on the next part of our journey? Yes? Please welcome back our conductor, Brian Fugella. Gustav Holst was an English composer, arranger, and teacher. He's best known for his orchestral suite, The Planets. Holst's works were played frequently in the early years of the 20th century, but it was not until the international success of The Planets in the years immediately after the First World War that he became a well-known figure. A shy man, he did not welcome this fame and preferred to be left in peace to compose and teach. During Holst's earlier years as a composer, he took interest, as many composers did at the time, in folk music, and he wrote many pieces based on folk tunes. The second suite contains portions of 7 different folk songs. The suite opens with a spirited march, characterized by its lively tempo and rhythmic drive. In this march, Holst weaves together 3 folk songs: Morris Dance, remember we heard about the Morris dancers earlier, Swansea Town, and Claudie Banks. In the second movement, called Song Without Words, or I'll Love My Love, Holst creates a beautiful melody without lyrics. The expressive lines evoke a sense of longing and tenderness. Songs of the Blacksmith includes a lively rhythmic section, inspired by the rhythmic sounds of a blacksmith's hammer on an anvil. The music conveys the energy and craftsmanship of the blacksmith's trade. And finally, the suite concludes with a lively and spirited dance, Fantasia on the Dargasan. Dargasan refers to a lively English folk dance. Holst's treatment of this tune is vibrant and exhilarating. And now we present all 4 movements of the second suite for military band in F major by Gustav Holst. German Requiem by Johannes Brahms. The total work was composed between 1865 and 1868 and is comprised of 7 movements. It was originally written for chorus, orchestra, and soprano and baritone soloists. A German Requiem is considered Brahms' greatest vocal work. It was premiered on Good Friday, April 10, 1868, at the Cathedral Church in Bremen, Germany. Brahms had to receive special permission to perform the piece because it contained no explicit reference to Christ. Brahms was not a particularly religious man. Today we will perform the first movement, Blessed Are They. Although the Requiem Mass in the Roman Catholic liturgy begins with prayers for the dead, a German Requiem focuses on the living, beginning with the text, Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted, from the Beatitudes. Brahms' mother died in 1865, a loss that caused him much grief and may well have inspired the Requiem. Brahms' lingering feelings over his dear friend Robert Schumann's death in July 1856 may also have been a motivation. Although we are performing the first movement today, there's an interesting origin to the second movement related to this speculation. The second movement used some previously abandoned material that was written in 1854, the year of Schumann's mental collapse and attempted suicide. Following his suicide attempt, Schumann was admitted to an asylum, having suffered lifelong mental illness. He died in the asylum 2 years later. It was during this time that Brahms moved to Dusseldorf to assist Clara Schumann and her young children. And it was during this time that the material for the second movement of a German Requiem was born. Brahms never married, but he maintained his intensely platonic friendship with Clara until her death. Whatever the source of his passion, Brahms clearly expressed deep emotion through the German Requiem. And now we present Blessed Are They by Johannes Brahms as we welcome back our assistant conductor, Pete Thompson. and conductor of military bands during the late 1800s and early 1900s. He became a prolific composer with over 400 marches, polkas, and waltzes to his name. As most of his works were for military bands, he's sometimes known as the Bohemian Sousa. Today, his marches are still played as patriotic music in the Czech Republic. His worldwide reputation rests primarily on two works, the Florentiner March, which we are performing today, and the Entrance of the Gladiators, which is widely recognized as one of the most popular theme tunes for circus clowns. The Florentiner March opens with a short bugle fanfare and proceeds directly into a strain of repeated notes, which seem to depict a flighty Florentine signorina chattering to her gentleman friend from Berlin, who is given only enough time to answer occasionally. To picture this, listen for the main melody of sprightly repeated notes in the upper voices, occasionally interrupted by the sarcastic responses in the low brass. Wah, wah. As the initial material is repeated at the end, listen for an added piccolo descant, reminiscent of the piccolo part in John Philip Sousa's Stars and Stripes Forever. We hope you enjoy Florentiner March by Julius Buchek. Thank you so much. We're always looking for new members. So if you're so inspired today and you play an instrument, please see those who are waving their hands after the concert. Or you can go to our website for more information. We hope you'll put our next concert on your calendar. It will be held right here on Sunday, May 5th at 2:00 p.m. We thank you for being such a great and embracing audience. And we hope that our music took you on a satisfying journey today. I'll leave you with some excerpts from a poem by Dorothy Parker. Half across the world from me lie the lands I'll never see. Things I may not know or tell, wait where older waters swell. If I seek a lovelier part, where I travel goes my heart. We hope you had a wonderful journey. Safe travels home and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for coming.